My name is Ellen, and at 47 years old, I thought I knew my husband better than anyone. We'd been married for 23 years, raised two wonderful kids who were now in college, and built what I believed was an unshakable partnership. Michael was a software consultant who traveled occasionally for work, but never for more than a week at a time. When he told me he had to go to Tokyo for a client presentation, I didn't think twice about it. "It's just 4 days," he said, kissing me goodbye at our home in Austin, Texas. It was early October, and the Texas heat was finally starting to break. "I'll be back Friday evening. We can have that dinner at the Italian place you've been wanting to try." "Sounds perfect," I replied, straightening his tie. "Be safe. Love you." "Love you too, Elle." That was Tuesday morning. By Friday afternoon, my world had started to unravel. I worked as a high school guidance counselor, a job I'd held for 15 years and genuinely loved. My days were filled with helping teenagers navigate college applications, family problems, and the general chaos of adolescence. It kept me busy, fulfilled, and connected to a community I cared about deeply. Thursday evening, I texted Michael a photo of our golden retriever, Murphy, sprawled across Michael's side of the bed. "Murphy misses you. One more day." I added a heart emoji and hit send. The message showed as delivered but never read. I told myself he was probably in meetings, or maybe his phone battery had died. Michael wasn't glued to his phone like some people. It was one of the things I'd always appreciated about him, his ability to be present, to disconnect from technology when needed. Friday morning, I tried calling. It went straight to voicemail. I sent another text. "Hey, just checking what time your flight lands. Want to make sure I'm home when you get here." No response. By Friday afternoon, as I sat in my office at Westlake High School, counseling a nervous senior about her MIT application, a small knot of worry had formed in my stomach. I checked my phone between appointments. Nothing. At 3 o'clock, I called his office. His assistant, Jennifer, answered on the second ring. "Hi, Ellen. How are you?" "I'm good, thanks. I'm trying to reach Michael, but his phone seems to be off. Do you know what time he's landing today?" There was a pause. "Landing?" "Ellen, Michael extended his trip. He emailed me Wednesday saying the client needed him to stay through next week. Didn't he tell you?" The knot in my stomach tightened. "No, he didn't mention that." "Oh, I'm sorry. I just assumed. Well, he's scheduled to return next Friday now. I have it in the calendar." I thanked her and hung up, staring at my phone. Michael had extended his trip without telling me, and now he wasn't answering his phone or responding to texts. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe he'd been so busy with the client that he'd forgotten to mention the extension. Maybe his phone had broken, and he hadn't had time to replace it yet. These were reasonable explanations. But Michael and I talked every day when he traveled. Always. In 23 years of marriage, we'd never gone more than a day without some form of communication. I called again. Voicemail. I sent a text. "Jennifer told me you extended your trip. Is everything okay? I'm worried because I haven't heard from you. Please call me." The weekend passed in a haze of anxiety. I walked Murphy, worked in the garden, cleaned the house, anything to keep my hands busy while my mind raced through possibilities. Saturday evening, I called our son Tyler, who was a junior at University of Texas. "Hey Mom, what's up? Have you heard from your dad recently?" Yeah, he texted me Tuesday before his flight." "Why?" I haven't been able to reach him since Thursday. His assistant says he extended his trip, but he didn't tell me." "That's weird." Tyler sounded concerned. "Want me to try calling him?" "Would you?" 20 minutes later, Tyler called back. Straight to voicemail for me too. Maybe his phone died and he's been too slammed to deal with it? "Maybe," I said, not believing it. Sunday night, I barely slept. Every time I closed my eyes, I imagined worst-case scenarios. What if something had happened to him? What if he'd been in an accident? But wouldn't someone have contacted me? Monday morning, I was at my desk when my phone rang. The caller ID showed Michael's office number. My heart leaped. "Hello? Ellen, it's Jennifer." Her voice was strained. "I think you should come to the office. There's something you need to see." I left school immediately, telling my principal I had a family emergency. The drive to Michael's office in downtown Austin felt surreal, like I was moving through water. October sunshine poured through my windshield, traffic moved at its usual crawl, and the world continued as if nothing was wrong. But something was very wrong. Jennifer met me in the lobby, her face pale. She was in her early 30s, efficient and professional, and I'd always liked her. "I'm so sorry to call you like this," she said, leading me to a conference room. But I've been trying to reach Michael too. And when I started digging into his calendar and emails, I found some things that don't add up. She opened her laptop and turned it toward me. There's no client meeting in Tokyo. I checked with accounting. No travel expenses approved for Japan. No project in our system that would require it. I stared at the screen, not comprehending. What do you mean? He's been planning this trip for weeks. I know. He told me about it too. But Ellen, I can't find any record of it being a work trip. I checked his company credit card. There's no flight to Tokyo, no hotel reservation, nothing. My hands started shaking. Then where is he? I don't know, but... She hesitated. There are charges on his personal credit card. I only know because he accidentally forwarded me a receipt last week. He's in San Francisco. San Francisco, not Tokyo. The room seemed to tilt. Why would he lie? The question came out as barely a whisper. Jennifer looked at me with genuine sympathy. I don't know, but I thought you should know the truth. I drove home in a daze. San Francisco. Why San Francisco? And why lie about it? My mind went to the darkest place immediately. An affair. Was there someone else? After 23 years, 2 kids, a life built together brick by brick, was my husband with another woman in San Francisco while telling me he was in Tokyo? At home, I went straight to his home office. I'd never snooped before, had never felt the need to. But now I opened drawers, looked through papers, searched for anything that might explain this. In the bottom drawer of his desk, I found a folder labeled Property Research. Inside were printouts of real estate listings in San Francisco. Condos, apartments, all in the same neighborhood, Pacific Heights. My confusion deepened. Was he planning to move there? To leave me? My phone rang. It was Sarah, my best friend since college. She lived 2 streets over, and we had coffee together at least twice a week. Hey, Elle, wanna grab lunch? Sarah, can you come over? I need to talk to someone. She was there in 10 minutes. I told her everything. The silence, the lie about Tokyo, the San Francisco credit card charges, the real estate listings. Oh, honey, she said, pulling me into a hug. But jumping to affair might be premature. There could be other explanations. Like what? What possible reason would he have to lie about being in Tokyo when he's actually in San Francisco, looking at real estate? Sarah was quiet for a moment. I don't know, but you need to confront him. You can't just sit here spiraling. She was right. I picked up my phone and called Michael's number again. This time someone answered. Hello? It was a woman's voice, young, uncertain. My heart stopped. Who is this? Who is this? This is Ellen Carter. This is my husband's phone. Who are you? There was a sharp intake of breath. Mrs. Carter? Oh my God. I'm so sorry. I found this phone at a coffee shop in Pacific Heights yesterday. I was trying to figure out who it belonged to so I could return it. You found it? Yes, ma'am. At Blue Bottle Coffee on Fillmore Street. It was just sitting on a table. I've been waiting for someone to call so I could give it back. I got the address of the coffee shop and thanked her. After hanging up, I looked at Sarah. His phone was left at a coffee shop in San Francisco 2 days ago. Some woman found it. So he's definitely there, Sarah said. And he's been without his phone since Saturday, which explains why he hasn't been answering. But it doesn't explain why he's there at all, or why he lied about Tokyo. Sarah squeezed my hand. Then go find out. Get on a plane to San Francisco. Go to that coffee shop, track him down, and demand answers. I can't just fly to San Francisco. Why not? Ellen, your husband has been lying to you and is missing in another city. You absolutely can and should go find him. She was right. Within 2 hours, I'd booked a flight for the next morning, arranged for Sarah to take care of Murphy, and called the school to request the rest of the week off. My principal, who knew me well, asked no questions and told me to take whatever time I needed. That night, I lay in bed thinking about our marriage. Had there been signs I'd missed? Had Michael been unhappy? We'd gone through the normal ebbs and flows, stressed periods when the kids were young, financial pressures, the usual challenges of maintaining intimacy over decades. But I'd thought we were solid. We still held hands during movies, still made each other laugh, still talked about growing old together. What had I missed? Tuesday morning, I landed at San Francisco International Airport under gray October skies. The city felt foreign and overwhelming as I took a rideshare to the coffee shop in Pacific Heights where Michael's phone had been found. The young woman who'd answered Michael's phone met me there. Her name was Clarissa, and she was a college student at USF. She handed me Michael's phone with an apologetic smile. "I really hope everything's okay," she said. I tried to find some contact information in the phone, but it's password protected. I thanked her and sat at a table by the window, Michael's phone in my hands. I knew his password. It was our anniversary. I unlocked it and started going through his recent activity. The last texts were from Friday morning, before the phone had apparently been left here. There was nothing suspicious in his messages, just normal exchanges with work colleagues, a text to Tyler about a football game, a message to our daughter Claire about her chemistry midterm. His recent calls showed multiple missed calls from me, from Jennifer, from Tyler, but nothing that explained why he was here. I opened his email app. Most of it was work-related, but then I saw an email thread with the subject line, "Stanford Medical Center appointment." My heart clenched as I clicked it. The email was from a Dr. Patricia Chen at Stanford Medical Center, confirming appointments for the past week. Appointments for what? I scrolled through the thread, my hands shaking. "Mr. Carter, following our consultation last month, I've scheduled your MRI for Tuesday, October 10th, and your follow-up appointment for Friday, October 13th. Please arrive 30 minutes early for both appointments. As discussed, we'll review all results and discuss treatment options at Friday's meeting." Treatment options. The words swam before my eyes. Michael wasn't having an affair. He was sick. He was sick, and he hadn't told me. I immediately called the number in the email signature. A receptionist answered. "Stanford Medical Center, Neurology Department. How can I help you?" "I need to speak with Dr. Chen. It's urgent. It's about my husband, Michael Carter. Dr. Chen is with a patient right now. Can I take a message? I'm his wife. I just found out he's been seeing her, and I need to know what's going on. Please, I need to speak with someone." There was a pause. "Let me see if I can get someone to help you. Please hold." After what felt like an eternity, a woman's voice came on the line. "Mrs. Carter, this is Dr. Chen. I understand you're looking for information about your husband?" "Yes. I found emails about appointments. Is he sick? What's wrong with him?" Dr. Chen's voice was gentle but professional. "Mrs. Carter, I can't discuss a patient's medical information without their consent, even with a spouse. But I can tell you that Michael had an appointment with me this morning. He should still be here. Would you like to come to the hospital?" I was in an Uber heading to Stanford Medical Center within 5 minutes. The neurology department was on the 4th floor. I found Dr. Chen waiting for me in the hallway, a woman in her 50s with kind eyes and graying hair. "Mrs. Carter, Michael is in my office. He's been trying to figure out how to tell you something very difficult. I think it's time you two talked." She led me to her office. Michael sat in a chair by the window, looking out at the Stanford campus. When he turned and saw me, his face crumbled. "Elle," he said, his voice breaking. "I'm so sorry." I wanted to be angry, to yell at him for lying, for disappearing, for scaring me. But seeing him there, looking so lost and afraid, all I felt was terror. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Michael, what's happening?" Dr. Chen quietly excused herself, closing the door behind her. Michael stood up, and I could see his hands shaking. "I have a brain tumor. They found it 2 months ago during a routine physical when I mentioned having headaches. It's called a glioblastoma. It's not good, Elle." The world stopped spinning. "A brain tumor?" "I came here because Stanford has one of the best neuro-oncology programs in the country. Dr. Chen is a specialist. I've been having tests all week to determine if I'm a candidate for an experimental treatment trial." I sat down heavily in the chair across from him. 2 months. "You've known for 2 months and didn't tell me?" I couldn't. Tears were streaming down his face now. I couldn't say the words out loud. If I told you, it became real. If I told the kids, I'd have to watch their faces break like mine did when I heard the diagnosis. I thought if I could just figure out a treatment plan first, if I could come here and get into the trial and have something hopeful to tell you, then maybe what? Maybe it wouldn't be as terrifying? I was crying too now. "Michael, you don't get to decide this alone. I'm your wife. We face things together. That's what marriage means." I know that now. But Elle, I was so scared. I'm still so scared. I crossed the space between us and took his hands. They were cold despite the warm office. "Tell me everything. No more secrets." We sat in Dr. Chen's office for over an hour while Michael explained everything. The initial diagnosis, the scans, the statistics that had sent him into a spiral of fear. Glioblastoma was an aggressive cancer. The survival rates were not encouraging. Standard treatment offered maybe 12 to 18 months. But the trial here, Michael said, his voice gaining a slight edge of hope, It's using a new immunotherapy approach combined with targeted radiation. Early results show some patients responding much better than with conventional treatment. Dr. Chen thinks I'm a good candidate because of the tumor's location and my overall health. Dr. Chen had returned and was explaining the details when Michael's phone, still in my purse, began buzzing repeatedly. I pulled it out. Multiple texts from Jennifer, Tyler, and Claire. "They're all worried sick about you," I said. "We need to call them." That evening, we sat in a hotel room near the hospital. Michael had been staying here all week and video called our kids together. Telling them was the hardest thing I'd ever done. Watching Claire's face crumble, hearing Tyler's voice crack as he tried to stay strong, feeling the weight of their fear through the screen, it was devastating. But as Michael explained the treatment plan, the hope in Dr. Chen's approach, I watched our children rally. They asked questions, they cried, but they also started planning. "I'm coming home this weekend," Tyler said immediately. "We should all be together." "I can take next semester off," Claire added. She was a sophomore at Northwestern. "I can help, be there for treatments." "No," Michael said firmly. "You both stay in school. That's non-negotiable. This is going to be a long road, and you can't put your lives on hold." After we hung up, Michael and I lay in the hotel bed, not touching it first, both processing everything. "I found real estate listings in your office," I finally said. "In Pacific Heights. I thought maybe you were planning to leave me." Michael turned to me, his face stricken. "Leave you? No. God, no. I was looking at places because if I get into the trial, I'll need to be here for several months. I thought maybe we could rent something, both of us. I was trying to figure out how to make it work without disrupting your job, the kids' school schedules, everything. You were trying to handle everything alone. I'm sorry. I've been so stupid. I just kept thinking, if I could control some part of this, plan it perfectly, then maybe it wouldn't feel so overwhelming." I took his hand. "We're going to face this together from now on. No more secrets, no more trying to protect me from hard things. I'd rather have the ugly truth than a comfortable lie." "Okay," he whispered, "together." The next morning, I met with Dr. Chen alone while Michael underwent another scan. She was frank about the challenges ahead. "Even with the trial, this is serious," she said. "Glioblastoma is aggressive, and while we're hopeful about the new treatment approach, I want you to understand the reality. This will be difficult. There will be side effects, setbacks, and no guarantees." "I understand," I said, "but we're going to fight, and we're going to do it together." Dr. Chen smiled. "That's the right attitude. Patients with strong support systems do better. The fact that you're here, that you're facing this as a team, that matters more than you might think." Over the following weeks, we developed a plan. Michael was accepted into the clinical trial, which meant he'd need to be in San Francisco for at least 4 months. I arranged a leave of absence from my counseling position. The school was incredibly supportive, offering to hold my job for as long as I needed. We found a furnished apartment in Pacific Heights, ironically just 2 blocks from the coffee shop where Michael had left his phone. Sarah flew out to help us move in, and Tyler and Claire came for a weekend to help set everything up. The treatment was grueling. The immunotherapy made Michael exhausted and nauseous. The targeted radiation caused headaches that sometimes left him unable to get out of bed. There were days when I watched him suffer and felt helpless, desperate to take the pain away. But there were good days too. Days when we'd walk through Golden Gate Park or sit at the apartment watching the fog roll in over the bay. Days when Tyler would call with funny stories from campus, or Claire would send photos of her study group, and we'd remember that life was still happening, still moving forward. Sarah visited twice, bringing news from home and making us laugh with neighborhood gossip. Our friends rallied around us, sending care packages, making donations to brain cancer research in Michael's name, creating a meal train for when we'd eventually return to Austin. In December, Michael had his first round of scans to assess the treatment's effectiveness. We sat in Dr. Chen's office holding hands, barely breathing as she pulled up the images. "I'm seeing positive response," she said, pointing to the scan. "The tumor has shrunk by approximately 30%. This is excellent news." I burst into tears of relief. Michael just sat there, stunned. "So it's working?" he finally asked. "It's working," Dr. Chen confirmed. "We have a long way to go, but this is exactly what we hope to see." That night, we celebrated with Thai takeout in our apartment, video calling the kids to share the news. For the first time since that awful day when I couldn't reach Michael, I felt something like hope settling in my chest. The treatment continued through winter. By February, the scans showed the tumor had shrunk by another 20%. Dr. Chen was cautiously optimistic, using phrases like remarkable response and exceeding expectations. In March, as spring began to warm San Francisco, we were able to return to Austin for a few weeks between treatment cycles. Coming home felt surreal. The house looked the same. Murphy went crazy with joy, and our neighbors welcomed us back with tears and hugs. But we were different. I was different. The experience had stripped away so much of what I'd thought mattered. The small annoyances, the petty concerns, the future I'd taken for granted. What remained was stark and clear: love, family, and the precious gift of time. One evening, as we sat on our back porch watching the sunset paint the Texas sky orange and pink, Michael turned to me. "I'm sorry I tried to handle this alone," he said. "I wasted 2 months being scared by myself when I could have been scared with you." "We're all afraid of burdening the people we love," I replied. "But Michael, carrying your burden is a privilege. It's what love is, choosing to bear each other's weight even when it's heavy." He pulled me close, and we sat there as evening fell, Murphy at our feet, the sounds of our neighborhood drifting over the fence. Not everything was fixed. We still had months of treatment ahead, still had uncertainty about the future, still had fears that woke us in the middle of the night. But we were facing it together now. No more lies, no more silence, no more trying to protect each other from the truth. Just two people who'd chosen each other 23 years ago, choosing each other again in the hardest moment of their lives. The journey wasn't over. Dr. Chen had made that clear. Even with the positive response, we were fighting a serious disease that required ongoing vigilance. But as I sat there with Michael on that March evening, I realized that the worst part hadn't been the diagnosis, or the treatment, or even the fear of losing him. The worst part had been the silence, the isolation of fighting alone. And now that we were fighting together, even the hard days felt more bearable. Sometimes love means letting people carry their own burdens, but sometimes it means insisting on helping them carry it, even when they try to protect you from the weight. That's what I learned when my husband said he'd be back from Tokyo soon, then stopped answering my calls. The truth had been terrifying, but facing it together made us stronger than we'd ever been apart.